Mr. Frederickson, are we good?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. I am calling the July meeting of the Council Rock School Board officially to order. If we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, may I have a roll call, please? And welcome back home.
Thank you. I'll start with Christine Marcel. Here. Marianne McKee. Here. Ed Solomon.
Here.
Ed Tate.
Here.
Mike Thorwart.
Here.
Andy Block.
I'm here.
And Ms. Mark Flanagan.
Mr. Bialik is out on work, and Mr. Hidalgo is out on family time.
Okay. Denise Brooks.
Here.
Excellent. Dr. Frazier, Superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Block. Good evening, members of the board and members of our Council Rock community. Certainly hope everyone's having a fabulous summer. It's hard to believe that we are already on the home stretch of July. Kind of crazy. I don't think we're quite at the point of having a countdown to the new school year, but I do admit that I took a sneak peek today and we are just about 40 days away. So consider that a public service announcement maybe. We, of course, will welcome our faculty and staff back the week prior and all of our new teammates, our new hires, the week prior to that. Looking forward to it all and certainly have been hard at work preparing for it all. A ton of work goes on in the summertime. And just to give you a little flavor for that, our maintenance staff has been hard at work, just doing an outstanding job of cleaning and shining up our buildings. Some safety enhancements taking place this summer, securing the main entrances, those vestibules, adding that layer of safety and security, providing new classroom door locking systems in some of our older schools that have yet to be renovated. So another improvement, technology department, imaging, preparing a couple thousand Chromebooks for our high school students to return to this fall. Transportation department has had their work cut out for them. Redistricting, of course, is taking place this fall, and so many new bus routes are being created, and so I'm really proud of that team. Several of our teachers and teaching assistants have worked directly with our students this summer, whether that be at an academic program, at a summer camp, or in our ESY program, or administrative assistants. Of course, as administrators, we would be lost without them, but working with their administrators, school counselors, and others to close out last school year and set everyone up for success for the upcoming school year. A lot of folks engaged in tremendous professional development, which is fantastic, and proud to note that Wrightstown Elementary has officially moved out of the former Richboro Middle School and back into their right and proper place, and new and improved. Thank you, Mr. Taylor and team. Board, I know you had a chance to see that fantastic school a little earlier this evening, which is outstanding. And to all Wrightstown students and parents, I know that you're anxious to see it, and Principal Fox, Ms. Fox, has plans in place for just that to happen. The only holdup is that we don't yet have the occupancy permit. So once we get that permit, I know that she is excited to see you and to welcome you. And sticking with that theme, this summer we have also moved Rolling Hills out of Rolling Hills and into the former Richboro Middle School. That project has already commenced at Rolling Hills, and we look forward to this time next year, Mr. Taylor, dare I say, on time and under budget once again.
No pressure, Doug.
Also busy this summer preparing a new strategic plan for the school district. We will actually be presenting that plan next month at the August school board meeting, and then it will be up for the board's consideration of approval at the September meeting. So we are really excited about that vision of continuing sustained excellence and continuous improvements in all aspects that impact our kids' lives. This list certainly isn't exhaustive. In fact, it probably barely scratches the surface of the work that goes on in the summertime, but I'm really proud of that work. I'm proud of the people who are doing that work, and I know that we will all keep it up. Just one final note that I don't want to miss is that one change that's taking place this summer pertains to Mr. Andy Sanko, Mr. Sanko has moved this summer officially into our role as Director of K-12 Education. So you've been a cabinet member for a year now, attending board meetings for a year now, but this is your first official one as Director of K-12 Education. So on behalf of this board, on behalf of this cabinet team, congratulations once again to you. Keep up the great work. Thank you. That is my report.
Thank you, Dr. Frazier. Mr. Cox, solicitor's report, please.
Mr. Block, I'll just announce the executive session prior to tonight's meeting on potential litigation. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Mr. Cox. We'll now move to our first set of public comment. Is there any public comment this evening? Seeing no public comment, I would ask Mr. Salomon if you can provide a motion to approve the minutes of the board for June 20th and also the special meeting on the 18th. We take those together.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Block. I move to approve the minutes of the public school board meeting on June 20th. And can I tie it in with the special board meeting on July 18th?
Second. Dr. Thorward, any questions? Any comments? Hearing no objection, I ask the secretary to note the motion passes with unanimous consent. And with that, we go to the newly named Education Committee. Ms. McKee.
Thank you, Mr. Block. The Education Committee met on the 27th of June. Our topics were an update on PLCs and a report from the STEAM Committee. Our next meeting will be on September 26th. That concludes my report, and therefore I'd like to move to approve consent agenda items B through I as contained in the attachment to this agenda.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks. Any questions? Hearing no objections, I ask the secretary to note the motion passes with unanimous consent. And if you could please take the balance, J through N.
Thank you.
J through,
For the next agenda item, I would ask Dr. Fraser, would you care to comment?
I would. Thank you, Ms. McKee. This next item is a consortium for mental health and optimal development for the 2019-20 school year. As many of you know, and many more of you will find out as we formally present our strategic plan, student wellness is front and center in that plan. Mental health is front and center in that plan. So we have been invited and have accepted that invitation pending approval this evening to join a consortium that is being run by Penn, the University of Pennsylvania, some absolutely fantastic folks there. The cost is $25,000. It allows 5 of our staff members, led by Dr. Lambert, our Director of Special Services, and 4 of his team members to attend these meetings on a regular basis, learn from the expertise down there at Penn, as well as learn and network with colleagues from around the area, Bucks County and beyond. So we're excited about it. We know that we'll benefit from this. We know our students will benefit from it, and we seek your approval this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Fraser. I move to approve the attached contract between Council Rock and the trustees of the University of Pennsylvania, subject to audit.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Tate. Any questions? Hearing no objections, I'd ask the secretary to note the motion passes with unanimous consent.
And one final item.
Finally, yeah.
I would just note that the following contract is being funded through money received through the Pennsylvania Smart Grant Funds. Those funds are meant to target computer science, and the majority is being used for professional training and development. I move to approve the agreement between Council Rock and Code HS for the 2019-2020 school year for $13,300 per the attached contract, subject to audit and solicitor review.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Thorward. Any questions or comments? Hearing no objections, I ask the secretary to note that that motion passes with unanimous consent. That's great. Ms. Brooks, the IU update.
I have nothing to report this month.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks. Ms. Marcel, MBIT and rec, please.
I do not have a report for MBIT since Ms. McKee and I did not have an executive council meeting this month. And then for Council Rock Education Foundation, I just wanted to remind everyone about the Council Rock Golf Classic on October 3rd. There's actually more information on the website now in terms of player and sponsor sponsorships. And so I just want to remind everyone while they're enjoying their summer to check out creducationfoundation.org for more details. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Marcel. Monday Man, Mr. Tate, Policy Committee, please.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Block. We have a number of policies on the agenda. And we have one for approval, and we have one to be retired. I'll do both motions at once.
Yep.
All right. I move to approve the revised policies as contained in the attachments to the agenda. I also move to approve new policies as attached to the agenda. And I move to remove the policy 904.1 on smoking.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Thorwald. Any comments or questions?
It's a lot of policies.
I'm sorry, could
It's a lot
you
of policies.
share with the public why we would remove a smoking policy?
It's covered by 3 policies, as a matter of fact. And let me get that in front of me.
I believe it's
The policies
222
are
and
covered by 222, which pertains to students, also 323, which pertains to staff, and a third policy that prohibits tobacco use on district property is 707, which is use of facilities, and that pertains to the public. So those 3 segments of the population are covered by a smoking prohibition. So that's why we don't need 904.1. The revised policies were all discussed at length with policy committee and are recommended by the policy committee.
I had a second on that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Hearing no objections, I'd ask the secretary to note that that motion passes with unanimous consent.
Thank you.
And then from there, we'll go to the finance committee. We'll ask the bearded Mr. Stone to stand in for bearded Mr. Bialik to give the report. Then I'd ask Mr. Salmon if you could read the consent agenda and motions down to J.
Thank you, Mr. Block. Sorry about that. The Finance Committee did not meet in July. Our next meeting is scheduled for August 8th. The consent agenda items simply have our typical approvals for bill list and financial statements, and there is also an agreement with Bucks County IU for substitute reception services.
Thank you, Mr. Stone.
All right, the first set is I move to approve items B through E as contained in this agenda.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Thorwald. Any questions or comments? Hearing no objections, I'd ask the secretary to note the motion passes with unanimous consent, and we will move to F, please.
F states I move to approve financial system training hours for the business department with Tyler Technology in an amount not to exceed 4,200 hours.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks. Any questions here for the administration or comments? Hearing no objections, I'd ask the secretary to note that F passes with unanimous consent. We'll move to item G, please, Mr. Salmon.
G states I move to approve Northampton Township's request for a refund of real estate taxes paid by the township to the district in the amount of $73,459.92 for the periods subsequent to the township's acquisition of Northampton Valley Country Club on September 17th, 2018 for municipal use.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks. Any questions or comments? Hearing no objections, I'd ask the secretary to note that the motion passes with unanimous consent, and we'll go to H.
H, I recommend accepting the appointment of the tax collector and deputy tax collector for Upper Makefield Township.
Second.
Dr. Thorwald, any comments or questions there? Hearing no
Just
objections.
note that this is routine.
Yeah.
We do these.
Yep. Hearing no objections, I'd ask the secretary to note that the motion passes with unanimous consent. We'll go to I, please.
I move to approve the builder's risk insurance for Rolling Hills Elementary School through Travelers Insurance effective May 1st, 2019 to July 1st, 2020.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Thorwald. Any questions here? Any comments? Hearing no objections, I'd ask the secretary to note that the motion passes with unanimous consent. We'll go to the last one there, Mr. Salmon.
And J, I move to approve the administrative agreement with QCC Insurance Company for healthcare administrative services.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Marcel. Any questions or comments here? Hearing no objections, I'd ask the secretary to note that motion passes with unanimous consent. And Ms. Brooks, if you could take K and L together, please.
I move to approve the personnel actions and personnel actions addendum as contained in the attachments to this agenda.
Second.
Excellent. Dr. Frazier, I believe you have some comments.
After the vote, please.
After the vote, please. Okay. Any questions or comments? Why don't you get a roll call here? Purple.
K&L.
Yeah, both personnel, K&L.
Mark Klein, Denise Brooks,
Yes.
Christine Marcel,
Yes.
Mary
Yes.
Ed Solomon,
Yes.
Ed Tate,
Yes.
Mike Rutherford,
Yes.
Andy Clark.
Yes. Motion passes 7-0. Dr. Frazier, the floor is yours.
Fantastic. I thank the board, and of special note this evening in these personnel actions is the addition of two members to our illustrious administrative team. The first is a supervisor of special education. This is a position that we actually had to, due to budgetary concerns, eliminate 3 years ago, and fortunately, we are now at the point where we are able to bring it back. So I offer my congratulations on behalf of this board and this cabinet team to Dr. Ryan Murphy for being appointed to that position this evening. Dr. Murphy has worked as a school psychologist for Council Rock since 2011, most recently here at School Pinestone Elementary School. Prior to that, he served as a school psychologist in the Neshaminy School District. He possesses a doctorate, as you've heard, in school psychology from Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine. He is also an adjunct professor in the Department of Graduate Education at Rider University, and if that isn't exhaustive and impressive enough, he is also a contributing author of multiple publications in his field. So we are thrilled to be able to elevate Dr. Murphy to this position. He would love to be here this evening, but as mentioned, he is an adjunct professor at Rider, and he's currently at Rider teaching a class. So congratulations to Dr. Murphy, and this is a great thing for our school district. The second position is a new transportation manager, and this is coming because of a recent resignation in that position. You heard earlier that I complimented that team, and especially compliment them because they have been without a transportation manager and providing a lot of leadership themselves along with Mr. Stones. So Mr. Matthew Adams, congratulations to you on being appointed to that position this evening. Mr. Adams is most recently the General Manager of Safety and Compliance for Fundamental Labor Strategies in New Hope, where he is a member of their executive management team. Prior to that, he served as account manager and then general manager of transportation for J.B. Hunt Transportation Incorporated. A couple of you would love this. He's a Penn State alum. That's always received well.
He's a graduate of their outstanding supply chain program.
That's exactly right. You took my next line from me. Bachelor's degree of Science in Supply Chain and Information Systems. And not to be left unsaid, he is a community member in the district and a parent in our district. He has a rising fourth grader at Marine M. Welch and an incoming kindergartner at Marine M. Welch. So Mr. Adams, congratulations. And at this point, we'll invite you to say a few words.
Well, thank you for the introduction, and I look forward to bringing my talents and skills to the outstanding transportation team already in place. It's great to be a Council Rock dad coming in and knowing that I'll be getting my own kids to school on time.
Added incentive.
Welcome.
Great, welcome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, with that, Dr. Thor, we'll move to the Facilities Committee section.
Sure. There was no Facilities Committee meeting in July. The only thing I'll note, and we've already touched on it, is board tour at Wrightstown Elementary this evening. Congratulations to Doug and the entire team. We will be ready for kids in the fall, and we're under budget, or in budget. We'll leave it in budget for now, but we're under. Okay, we're under. So we got a good taste of it. Looks good. So not much else to report. We were idle in July.
Great. Get some motions?
Yeah, I got a couple motions for you. One is just standard plan con. I move to approve PlanCon Part A, project justification, Part B, schematic design and district-wide feasibility study for PDA compliance for the Achieve Sloan Twilight Project, subject to audit.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Marcel. Any questions or comments? Hearing no objections, I ask the secretary to note that the motion passes with unanimous consent. We'll go to C.
Yeah, I've got a couple of change orders too. I move to approve change order number 1 for the Council Rock High School South Athletic Field projects to Promax Fence Systems LLC in the credit amount of $26,300, subject to audit. And I further move to approve change order number 1 for Council Rock High School North Newtown Middle School Stormwater Improvements Project to CMR Construction Incorporated, again in the credit amount of $671.16, subject to audit.
Second.
Ms. Marcel with a quick on the button. Thank you. Any questions or comments? Hearing no objections, I'd ask the secretary to note the motion passed with unanimous consent. And with that, our agenda is completed. We'll move to our second round of public comment. Is there any public comment? Seeing no public comment, I'll move to old business. Is there any old business on the board? Is there any new business on the board? Any board comment at all? Fantastic. With that, I will adjourn our July meeting. See you in August.
Who said 7:30?